Hello, in today's video I'm going to share 7 foods I once thought were healthy, but over time have come to realize that they're not. These foods deceptively sound and look healthy, but when you look at the ingredient list, it's clear they are far from it. The main issue with these foods is that they're processed, sometimes overly processed. By the time they reach your hands, most, if not all, their natural nutrients have been stripped away. What you're left with is something that only fills you up or quenches your thirst, but offers nothing that will maintain or build your health. Another interesting thing about these foods is many have been marketed as healthy in the past, if they're still not being marketed as healthy. Growing up, I believe that a healthy diet included many of these foods, especially since many of them come from natural whole food sources. The fact of the matter is, as I ate these foods, I started to experience more ailments. Some long-lived ailments were not getting better, only worse, such as acne, stomach aches, and later dyspepsia. It wasn't until I eliminated these foods from my diet, in addition to other things, that these problems improved and disappeared. So if you're currently struggling with these ailments or others, consider if the following foods are the cause of them. Try eliminating them to see if there are improvements. Okay, here are the 7 deceptive foods that I once thought were healthy. First is fruit juice. This includes all juice, whether 100% fresh squeezed juice, conventional juice, or even juice you squeeze at home. Of course, the juice you squeeze at home will be healthier than the conventional juice at the gas station, but the major problem it causes are nearly the same. The reason I thought fruit juice was healthy was because it came from fruit, a whole food that naturally has a lot of nutrients. So drinking the juice of a whole food couldn't be all that bad. I would just be getting more nutrients in one serving. But the truth is, there's too much sugar in juice and not enough fiber, if any, to allow the body to digest it slowly. Too much sugar can lead to many problems such as diabetes, weight gain, and heart disease. Sadly, most conventional juices don't even contain much of the actual fruit juice. They often have tons of high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors, and more. The amount of juice you sometimes get is less than 1%. And with fresh squeezed juice, even juice you squeeze at home, when you remove the fiber by not eating the actual fruit, you're getting a high dose of sugar which can have negative effects on the body as mentioned. For instance, instead of eating 1 apple, which would provide you with the skin and pulp and fill you up faster, making you consume less of its juice, you're consuming a cup or more of juice, which could be equivalent to 4 or more apples. That's a lot of sugar in one take. The best alternative to fruit juice is to opt for the actual fruit, sparkling flavored water, even fruit herbal teas, which have minimal or no sugar in them. I recommend Spindrift for fruit sparkling water. Second are saltine crackers. These are plain white crackers that are usually eaten with soups, but I used to snack on them all the time when I was looking for healthier snacks. I assumed they were healthy because they appeared plain and simple. They didn't have much flavor, like butter, cheese, or sandwich crackers, and truthfully, I thought crackers were generally healthier than chips or cookies. But boy was I wrong. Not only is it clear to me now that saltines are made of highly processed and refined flour, which converts the sugar in the body and can cause inflammation, a major contributor to acne as well as diseases and illnesses, but in recently looking at the ingredient list of the brand Nabisco Premium that I used to buy, I was disappointed at what I saw. It contains soybean oil and partially hydrogenated cottonseed oil, 2 vegetable oils that oxidize during processing and have been linked to cancer and other diseases. Though the flour is unbleached, it's still enriched with vitamins and minerals that were lost during processing, so there's really no significant health value to consuming this food. The best alternative to saltine crackers is organic grain-free crackers. Not only are they accessible to those who are gluten-free, but all their ingredients are natural and minimally processed, leaving most of their original nutrients intact. I recommend Hugh grain-free crackers. Third is baguette bread. This really includes any white flour or refined bread. When I was in the early stages of improving my diet, I relied on baguette bread to keep me full. I ate it with sandwiches, even snacked on it throughout the day. It was so simple and plain, I couldn't see how it was unhealthy. Technically, bread doesn't have to contain any questionable ingredients. All that's really needed to make bread is flour, water, yeast, and possibly salt. And while I purchased my bread from the bakery, I don't know for certain if the flour was bleached. I know some white breads and breads in general can contain sugars and oils, but even in its purest form, this type of bread is still unhealthy. Like the saltine crackers, when flour is refined, such as with white flour, it's digested faster in the body, which can lead to weight gain and inflammation. This can spike up blood sugar levels and force the body to store excess sugars as fat. So if you struggle with acne and other conditions caused by inflammation, baguette bread or refined bread is something you don't want to consume. The alternative to refined bread is to make your own. That way you can cut the unnecessary extras like oil, sugar, and use a higher quality, less refined flour. And if you're gluten-free, you can make one that's easy to digest and won't lead to inflammation. Fourth is canned or boxed soup. This is soup that's in a can or cardboard container. There are several problems with packaged soups that even natural and organic soups can fall under, and that's the sodium content. A lot of soups contain a lot of sodium per serving, such as Amy's lentil soup, which contains 1,050 milligrams per serving. Although Amy's does have a low sodium version, if you don't catch this information, you could be consuming more salt than needed in one sitting. I used to think packaged soups and frozen dinners, especially marketed as healthy, were a good choice, especially simple soups like chicken, noodle, or vegetable. On the surface, they only contained things that were of the whole food variety or minimally processed. This was before I was carefully reading ingredient lists and when I took a lot of things at face value. But as I became more aware of what I was consuming and dedicated to treating my ailments, I was surprised to find that many packaged soups were unhealthy, and it's not just because of their sodium. A lot of conventional soups contain oils and sugars, which I don't understand why, since I think they don't add to the taste. Many of these oils are vegetable oils which are highly processed and oxidized as a result. As mentioned, these oils can lead to disease like cancer and problems like inflammation. It's also important to note that some packaged soups have modified food starch and monosodium glutamate, MSG, which also causes ailments such as headaches, chest pain, and shortness of breath. The best alternative to packaged soups is to make your own. That way you cut out the excess sodium, dangerous preservatives, and unnecessary ingredients that don't do much for the flavor and appearance of the soup. Most classic soups don't take a lot to put together. All you need is broth, seasoning, and your favorite mix-ins. You can even freeze soup in individual containers to enjoy throughout the week. Fifth is sandwich meat, which is also known as deli meat or cold cut meat. This is often sliced meat, which can be turkey, beef, chicken, or ham, that's packaged in an airtight container or bag, or that you get directly from your local deli. I used to eat it in sandwiches and wraps, but they're also great in appetizers, such as on crackers. This was once my lunch staple, especially as a student. I used to think it was healthy because just like soup, it was meat. This was before I knew anything about how meat was processed and preserved. But unfortunately, deli meat is anything but healthy. First, it has a lot of sodium just like soup. For 2 ounces of Oscar Mayer deli fresh turkey breast, oven roasted, it contains 500 milligrams of sodium, and it's likely that people will consume more than 2 ounces per serving. Beyond the sodium is the reality that deli meat is considered a type of cured meat. Many contain nitrites and nitrates, which have long been linked to cancer. The World Health Organization even considers processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen, which falls into the same category as cigarettes. To make things worse, many conventional deli meats contain other harmful ingredients such as carrageenan and caramel color. The best alternative is to use fresh carved meat you make at home or choose a deli that prepares its meat naturally and organically. I have come across packaged deli meat brands that are organic and don't have questionable ingredients, such as Applegate Organics oven roasted turkey breast, but I have yet to try it, so I can't comment on the taste. Nevertheless, even if the ingredients are natural and healthy, the sodium content is still a concern, so pay attention to that and decide if it's something you want to consume. Fresh carved meat from your kitchen will always be best. 6 is granola and dry cereal. I put these together because their problems are similar. This includes even natural and organic cereals and granolas, but these are generally boxed or baked cereals that you consume with milk. I used to eat all sorts of cereal and granola as a snack a lot, even more so than for breakfast. I knew the high sugar cereals like Lucky Charms and Golden Grahams weren't healthy, but simple cereals like Rice Krispies and Cheerios were always ones I saw as healthy, because there wasn't much to them. They weren't laden with sugar, and they often touted claims of being heart healthy and full of whole grains. Well, Cheerios did. But unfortunately, many packaged cereals and granola have tons of added sugar and artificial ingredients such as colors and flavorants, ingredients that are linked to cancer and inflammatory conditions. Multigrain Cheerios even contains caramel color as an ingredient, which has been linked to cancer in several studies. And with granola, similar issues of added sugars are there. In addition, many are made with oxidizing vegetable oils such as canola oil and sunflower oil. Eating these seemingly healthy foods constantly can have a negative impact on your health. The best alternative is to make your own granola where you can control the type of oil and sugar you choose, or choose not to use. For dry box cereal, there are healthy brands without questionable ingredients, so you'll need to read ingredient lists to spot them out. One brand of healthy dry cereal I recommend is Arrowhead Mills, specifically their puffed corn cereal. 7th is dried fruit. This is essentially any fruit that has been dried, whether sun-dried, oven-dried, or even freeze-dried. Dried fruit is the ideal fruit snack because it's essentially a whole food. It's the actual fruit, it's just been dried. I once viewed all dried fruit as healthy because of this. I ate them as is, in granola, and even added them to cookies and muffins. But as I started looking at the ingredient list, I was surprised to discover that many dried fruit contains oils and sugars. I believe the purpose for these added ingredients is to keep the fruit separated and increase the sweetness of traditionally tart fruit such as cranberries. Though the intentions are genuine, it does no good for one's health. Again, the oils are overprocessed vegetable oils like sunflower, corn, soy, or canola oil, and the type of sugar is often not stated, so I just assume it's cane sugar, a highly processed and refined sugar. There are even some dried fruit that have chemical-based preservatives. At this point, you know why this makes dried fruit anything but healthy, but I will say that there are dried fruit that don't have added ingredients. There's a store brand of raisins that I buy that only contain the raisins, no sugar. And most freeze-dried fruit doesn't have any added ingredients. So it all comes down to reading the ingredient list to ensure you are not consuming anything that's harmful. The bottom line is, if it's processed, whether organic or conventional, there's always a good chance it will contain something questionable to your health or preferences. Always read the ingredient list even if you're familiar with the brand and have bought some healthy products from them in the past. I have found that even within brands I like, some of their products contain one or more of the concerns mentioned in this video. The ultimate alternative is to rely on natural whole foods and make as much of your meals, snacks, and drinks as possible from scratch. That way you don't have to question what you're eating or risk long-term harm to your health. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these 7 foods I once thought were healthy sparked an interest in looking into the foods you consume. If you found this video valuable, please like, comment, and share so others can benefit from this video as well. Subscribe for more whole food and nutrition videos, and until next time, take care.